on the various sides. They pulled the dragon out of range of any of this initiation, and there we go. They have taken the dragon down. This is still 0 dragons for Noxus, but Bren just by himself getting completely dropped down. No teammates helping him whatsoever, just all from the back. I don't know why they didn't coordinate that better, but he was by himself, getting himself killed.
That may have been a costly blunder for Noxus in that case.
That was just silly, I have to admit. That was not well coordinated for the Noxian team. I think they've just become overconfident from the victory last time.
Perhaps. So they're rattled at the absolute maximum.
Oh, that was a nice dark binding. Let's see if they can pick this up. He's been healed. All right, Udyr has already been healed by Soraka. It looks like he will just escape that tower as he has 246 armor with all the items and buffs combined. That is a very, very tanky man bear Phoenix Tiger. That is hard to say, by the way.
You did it quite well.
Thank you. And Turtle. Well. And Turtle. I apologize for missing the Turtle out there. But the man bear right now going to take down this golem, turning into a man phoenix, and doing what he can to give himself this blessing of the ancient golem for bonus experience and all of that. Now, one tower has finally slain. The first tower of the game, or turret I should say, has been slain. Eclipse playing Kennen, doing a very good job there. Has taken down that turret. So that is now 2 dragons, 1 turret, and a whopping 8 champion kill advantage for Ionia. This is going so well for them. And now, a couple things to state, though, is Ashe is a very strong character, but is somewhat unsafe. Her movement speed is low, her range is high, but she has no strong way of escaping from battles, and she doesn't have a very consistent, strong support champion that can actually properly babysit her. Now, Soraka can heal Ashe consistently, and that is very powerful, but is not the kind of champion who can just instantly nullify 1,000 damage and push back all opponents. So Ashe can be killed no matter how powerful she is, can always be killed by the Noxian team if the positioning is ever incorrect. Meanwhile, Misfortune is a little bit safer, has more movement speed, has a little bit more range in some of her abilities, and that is very powerful.
We've seen that the jungle game has been dominated pretty heavily by Ionia in this match, and perhaps one of the causes of this is the absence of Warwick. Warwick being one of Noxus's high priority champions to have on their side, but unfortunately, if you've been keeping up with the Eternal's Justice, Warwick just recently experienced quite an ordeal where he was actually kidnapped by a person who remains still at large at this time, and he was subjected to torture and some amount of mind-altering, I guess poisons or chemicals. It's unclear as to what it is. His good friend Singed was able to sort of free him from that, but he was definitely not in shape to participate in this match, and that may be hurting them pretty badly right now.
Also, on that subject, many summoners have asked why Urgot and Swain have not made their appearances for the Noxian team either.
Swain actually was recently promoted into the High Command, and this is a rather momentous event for him, and he actually needed to be away from the fields of justice for a little while he secured some of the formalities and ceremonies. There are some rumors that there may be varying opinions in the High Command about his participation in these things. Also, I mean, if we look back, right before the invasion of Ionia, he was the master tactician of Noxus, and he was pretty much flawless in his performance, but he was suddenly decommissioned right before the invasion took place, and was pretty much not heard from again until just recently when he joined the League. So quite a bit of speculation has been occurring about, it looks like we've got some action.
Here we go, and Amumu is the center of potential for us, getting dropped down. The Morgana will fall, and that is another kill for the Ionian team. They're now trying to chase down on Cyan. It looks like Cyan is in very bad shape, and he will drop down as well. That is now 10-0 the score for Ionia, and they are grouped up to push down to this bottom lane very, very powerfully. They have now walked across Vladimir, and this could be very scary for them, as Udyr is jumping all the way in, and they're going to drop down whom they can. And there is Friend in the middle of everything with his Singe, and that is a lot of damage. Amumu landing the bandage toss, and yes, Singe will go down. Vladimir is still standing alone now without anyone else to help him. There's the Hemo Plague, and that is some damage output, but looks like the Ionians are still safe, and now Kennen has come across to help with that as well. And oh no, Vladimir has been taken down from behind by Frost and Eclipse, and now it's just Roku playing Misfortune, trying to hold alive for the Ionians. This is a 7,000 armor Udyr refusing to take any damage.
Wow, it's definitely looking like a pretty one-sided match. I have to say, this cannot be what Noxus was looking for at all.
It's certainly, well, at least for the sake of the match, it's taking longer than the previous one did. But Noxus is definitely, they have to step up their game. They have to respond, but it may be too late at this point.
So as we were saying, anyhow, yes, Swain was absent, and it could be in part due to the fact that he has obligations that he must fulfill as with his new political status. It could also be that there's some things cooking in Noxus which have prevented him from being here. As far as Urgot goes, Urgot was actually, unfortunately, he sustained some damage in a recent match and needed to be in for repairs. And so he is currently with Zon Technicians and also unavailable for this match. So a lot of Noxus's power players just being perhaps even suspiciously unavailable to participate.
So my question to you, Phreak, is when do you think people will start going for Baron Nashor at this point?
I think,
or is that even a necessity at this point with the domination that's been going on?
I don't know if it's a necessity. So Baron Nashor is a risk. If you go for it, you're convincing yourselves that your opponents will not find it or find your plans, and if they do, they will not be able to react to that in time or sufficiently. So if all of the Ionians are shown to be bottom, the Noxians can maybe go for Baron Nashor and give up a tower or two, but it's worth it. In this case, Ionia really has no reason to take down Baron Nashor. They've been winning every team fight consistently. They've been consistently controlling the Dragon as well. And again, we just see the entire Ionian lineup just prepared for Dragon immediately. The Noxians still trying to run across the map to group up to this. And oh no, Poison Idol has disconnected from the game. The Vladimir will be going back to the summoner platform. I have no idea what happened to him just now. And so hopefully the Ionians will not capitalize on this too hard. As much as they are winning, they shouldn't be capitalizing.
There's a problem with the summoning orb or something along those lines. We'll get to the bottom of it immediately.
Yeah, so in the meantime, the Ionians will just simply grab as many of these objectives around the map, these safe objectives, the Lizard Elder, the Ancient Golem, and powering up Frost's Ash, which is a very wise choice. Generally, these long-range physical carries are the right choices to empower during these games.
League officials are, as we speak, trying to find out what the situation with Poison Iden is right now and decide if action needs to be taken.
I saw something. We'll have a report on that. We'll have a report on it fairly soon.
Okay. And yes, we see the exact same thing happening here as Roku has been donated the Blessing of the Lizard Elder on the Noxian team. So both teams having the same sort of ideas. The Ancient Golem has respawned as well, so we'll see who on Nox will try to take that buff away for themselves. In the meantime, we just see a very, very powerful Ash being played by Frost. These very high-profile items, Infinity Edge, Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Elixir of Agility, red and blue buff. This is a very, very deadly champions. Our spies have incapacitated your summoners, says Poroku. Uh-oh. A little bit of misdealings potentially from the Ionians.
A lot of speculation going into this match that the champions selected for the Noxian team were quite a bit stronger than the champions available to the Ionian team, but pretty strong demonstration of the power of Ionia here in this match today.
We see all the summoners in the game now trading some lines back and forth. If you look down here, they've been
there's no
taunting
love.
each other.
There's no love between either of these teams.
Oh, never. We'll see. Yeah, we see Ionia not making any large reason to push.
A bit
of honor between them, actually.
I would think that Ionia, especially with the axe to grind against having lost to Noxus last time, would press the advantage in the 5v4. But it seems like that they're just sort of casually taking their time. I can only imagine at this point that unless Noxus really gathers themselves and draws a line in the sand, tries to get back to their game plan, maybe they can pull something out, but it seems doubtful, especially with them being down one summoner currently for unknown reasons.
Yeah, I think I actually have an idea. So, I remember, 7 years ago was the last conflict, and the council had stated that it would be 15 years between before Ionia could ask for a rematch in order to determine the fate of those lands, and here we are, only 7 years later.
Absolutely correct.
If my 7 years is correct.
No, I believe so. So. The primary thing there, again, Noxus feeling supremely confident, wanting to make a public display of their generosity in the circumstance, agreed to the rematch early, provided that the conditions of being incorporated into the Ionian government were met. But this seems to have really backfired for Noxus.
Yeah, and I think the Ionian plan right now is to not give Noxus a reason to get a rematch too early. They feel very confident in this game that they feel like they will secure their lands away from Noxus, and they don't want to give Noxus a reason to appeal. To appeal the match. So they're playing it safe and saying, we know we're in the advantage. We don't want to give our lands a reason or an ability to be conquered again for the next decade and a half. And so they're playing it safe and hiding away.
If Noxus is unable to pull this out, this will be yet another huge disappointment for Noxus over the past few years. I mean, with the loss of their campaign against the Barbarians, which are now Freljord, with their stalemate against Demacia, with the eventual stalemate against Ionia, you have to think, goodness, good. Poison Ion is reconnected.
Okay, good. So the Noxian summoners are all back in the game, and they have found that Ionia has warded Baron Nashor, and they have simply cleared the ward out and placed a couple of defensive wards around the map as well to try to keep track of this. There's the hawk shot from Ash, spotting that no, Noxus is not actually going for the kill on Baron just yet. They're simply trying to wrest map control away, which is a very smart choice. But
Udyr leading the pack.
Yes, has come across. Oh, there's the ghost, and there's the Ash there on the Dark Binding. They will land on Scion in the back, but he will be running away. Can Udyr catch up? No, it looks like they're going to be okay with these shields. Will they be able to drop down? No, the rest of the team still looping around the sides, but Ash coming through the jungle.
To look at the fear, it's literally a 4v1 up, but now they've stopped and turn around.
Oh, this is very dangerous. There is Ken in the middle of everything, and they're still waiting for Amumu and Soraka to gain in. And yes, they have dropped down Morgana, and this is very, very dangerous. The Ionians are in very good shape right now. This Vladimir is alone, and Edwy has dropped down. That is 3 dead Noxians. Ionia still 5 strong. They're trying to jump down onto Singe. Can they do this? He is leaving a poison trail behind him. That will hurt the rest of these Ionian champions, but no, they are still diving down into the space. Will Singe drop down? They have exhausted Ash, and yes, there it is, a legendary Guardsman Bob, a legendary Udyr. This is...
Guardsman Bob literally chased four Noxians down the lane. Single-handedly chased them down the lane. Unbelievable.
Oh, man. So you see the loss of Dr. Mundo leads to the rise of Udyr and how powerful that has been.
I find it interesting. Wow. I find it interesting, too, that Udyr has been dominating so hard. There are many sub-factions of Ionia, one of them being sort of primal champions who feel that going through the primal essence rather than just the equilibrium of balance is more important. So this may actually give the hawkish factions of Ionia more credence.
Absolutely. It seems that Udyr is really carrying the weight of the rest of his 4 champions. And really, you can almost say that Ionia is bringing 8 champions, and as they have the man, bear, turtle, phoenix, tiger.
It's true, man, bear, turtle, phoenix.
And tiger.
Tiger, man, bear, turtle, phoenix, tiger. We'll get it right.
And 4 of the champions, and there we go. Finally, the very first kill. Neo Illusions has been dropped down, but Frost still coming in here, going to try to chase down Morgana, and so much damage output. Morgana being dropped down by Ash, and the silence onto Vladimir. A very good play by Soraka, silencing Vladimir so he could not escape, and they are now on to the Noxian Nexus. And I want to say that one 8 times fast. Noxian Nexus. That's actually...
You got there goes that inner tower, and now the Nexus is... Well, there's one more inner tower, but the Nexus is essentially open.
Yes, and this is very dangerous. Now, they're certainly very far into the opponent territory. Frost is out of mana. Of course, Eclipse playing Kennen just uses the energy system, so that's going to regenerate fairly quickly. But they're short-handed and they are low on mana. Spirit of Ionia, rid these Noxian heathens of our lands. Oh yes, the Summoners, of course, trying very hard to fight for their lands. And yes, the Noxian Nexus is now available. Frost in the middle of everything. Will he drop down a critical strike from his force?